What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Motorhead YouTube channel. In today's episode, we're back to work on our e30, and we're currently in the process of shaving our engine bay, but we did run into an issue. As you can see, there is still seam sealer all up in these cracks, and we're having trouble welding it. It's not a clean surface, and we want these nice welds. That way when we grind them down, they're gonna still be strong. So actually what we wanna do is start burning out all this seam sealer. Okay, so we are moving along. We got all the seam sealer burned out. We went ahead and wire wheeled it. Now Yuri's actually just smoothing everything out, fixing all the dents and creases. But now we actually want to get it onto this lift. That way we can get all the suspension off and have more room to work on it. Because we're gonna have to work on it from the back too. As you can see, it's gonna burn it all up. So we're gonna have to redo everything. So let's get this thing on the lift and start stripping it. All right, so we got this piece pretty much ready to weld in. Now Yuri's actually gonna cut out plates to box in this frame rail. So I'm gonna need to go ahead and cut this off right here. That way these sides are flush, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we got these two pieces cut out. They're basically just gonna go right onto these rails, just like that. And obviously we're gonna cut them out to the shape. And that way, once we weld everything together, we can just bondo it up and it's all gonna be nice and smooth and it's gonna look beautiful. So let's get to it. Okay, so these are our two side pieces right here. Now we're gonna go ahead and slide this one in, and then we're gonna slide this one in and see how they fit together. As you can see, that piece just slides in there real nicely, and then this piece goes simply right over the top, just like that. And it'll all be welded up, and then we'll throw some filler on it, and it's gonna look amazing. So now we actually need to start prepping it, and we actually wanna spray this zinc weld through primer. That way it doesn't rust underneath, because we will be putting a lot of body filler over all this to smooth it out. And I don't want any rust underneath, because eventually it'll crack the work. And we're gonna do all that for nothing, so we're gonna do it right. So let's go ahead and start getting it ready to prime.
good?
Yeah. What about these walls?
Well, we need to probably scuff them down some, right?
Yeah.
Let's let this dry, and then we'll scuff those down and shoot them too. It's looking real good, guys.
All right, check this out, guys. That is looking amazing. As you can see, it's all gonna be smooth now. Now we're just gonna have to drop a bead here, and then we'll go ahead and move on to this side.
All right, so we got all this seam sealer wire wheeled off, and the main reason why I did this was because I needed to weld right here, this seam back up, but also all this thick seam sealer right here was applied just everywhere, not necessarily evenly. So when I go to dolly it out, it was I wasn't able to get it nice and smooth. So now that I got it all wire wheeled off, I'm gonna be able to make that smooth so we won't have to put as much filler on it. All right, so we had to grind this rail back down because we did not take into account all the thick seam sealer and some of the studs that were there from the factory. And so we had to grind all that off. So we're gonna reprime that. And while that primer is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and dress up the welds on this side. Nice, sir. Love the grinder. Love the grind, the old man's grinder. What it is.
That's pretty much how it's gonna look, and it's looking amazing. Now we actually need to move on to this because we are still waiting for that to dry. And for this, we're actually gonna weld it from the back. As you can see, we spliced it and sent it through here. That way we'll weld this up, and you won't even have to grind from the front. And it's gonna be nice and strong because we can weld it from the top and from the bottom. So let's get to it. All right, so before we start, we actually wanna cut this off, just in case, you know, we don't want to bump into that or anything, and we got to get rid of it anyways. So Yuri's got the plasma.
wanted to get this nice and flat for when I dolly and finish welding up this side. As you can see, everything's looking pretty good, pretty straight. Before you guys remember, there was like a little body line or whatever that is, a bead. Yeah, there was a bead there. You can see now it's just straight and flat. So it's looking real good. We cut the frame rail, we got to doll that up and weld it, and then finish this side up and start the body work.
So now these pieces are welded together. We can actually start mudding this side, but we need to finish this side. So Yuri is about to tack this plate on. First, we need to lift up the car. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this video. We got a lot of work done in the engine bay. The rails are boxed up, they're good. The only thing left to do on the rails is actually weld this up and then finish shaving up the bay. But it's going to look really awesome when it's done. I can't wait to see it in primer. I can't wait to see everything nice and smooth. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and comment down below. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at motorhead.co. Peace.